Welcome to lesson 3. So far we've gone through the grip, the setup, the takeaway. That was all in lesson 1. In lesson 2, we went through the setting of the club and the move to the top of the backswing, taking into account weight shift and load, etc. So if you haven't seen them videos, go and have a little look at that. Today, now we're at the top of the backswing, we want to have a little look at how we're going to transition down into delivery. So kind of what I would class is one of the most important positions in the golf swing, because that is going to dictate how we find impact and how we exit through the ball. So today's session, we're going to have a look at how we can come down into a position to enable you to hit the shape that you want and get the strike that you want, i.e. the angle of attack and low point control. So let's have a little look at it. We find ourselves at the top of the backswing, and it's definitely a question I get asked a lot. What do I do? How do I bring the club back down? So for those of you who are kind of almost thinking too much, or trying to stop it over the top, or trying to hit a certain shape, trying to achieve club head speed, all this kind of stuff, worrying about strike, the first move from the top is often the one that I get asked, what goes first? What should happen? So in a sequence, so let's start with kind of how we want the body to move really on the way down into impact. As we've gone to the top of the backswing, our takeaway, our set, our load, so we're feeling still relatively centered at this point. What I like to see, the initial move, and this will start to happen probably before the hands have even reached the top of the very point of backswing, where we can then shift across. Okay, it's a little shift of pressure. Again, I'm going to talk quite a lot about this. I'm not trying to move the mass of my body, so I am shifting and just pressing into the ground here. From down the line, what you would see if I went to the top of my swing, I would see a hip turn of around 35 to 40 degrees. As I start the downswing, so this weight shift, I'm going to stay in this body alignment. There's my shift. Pressure's gone a little bit more towards this front of the lead foot, so towards my toes, because of my hip alignment. I see too many people trying early to transfer weight and turn, and then it suddenly kicks us out into this position. This is going to promote the over-the-top move. So what I want you to think about is when you get to the top of your backswing, we've loaded up, stay in this position. So that is, a lot of people talk about keeping your back to the target, keeping the shoulders closed off, keeping the chest closed off, and press into the ground there. Feel like I'm almost, if I had something under my foot, I'm just trying to squeeze it or press down on it. And that's as simple as the weight shift needs to be. That's going to initiate then the next move, where as I press, I can let my arms fall. Because this hip has stayed back, there's a lot of space. And we spoke about the importance of our trail arm on the last lesson and getting some good structure. If I press this way, I've now got space that I want to see my right elbow try and work in front of my rib cage, almost like I'm trying to get it in front of my belly button. And as that does that, it keeps this shoulder quite external, and you can see shaft plane now. Okay, we're starting to shallow it out. We're definitely not on that over the top kind of plane and kind of getting too steep. We have to make that move, and we have to have the good load of the hips, which is why we're building the swing as we are, to have this space, to let this fall in. And then the next part of it will be actually, how do we get the club lined up? What's a square club face into delivery? What's a good path of the club? So let's take a little look at that now. This is kind of the position that you'll hear a lot of sort of TV commentators say. Everyone's kind of got it into the slot and they're in this position now. It's so much easier from here. And a lot of that is true. And the reason we've built this swing over these previous lessons is to enable us really to get into a good delivery position easier. The delivery position, we've already just spoke about how we'd like to see our weight shift to the left foot, and we just feel that slight little press. And this is going to be important when we start to look at through impact and through to the finish, how our body will move and turn. So we've shifted into there. Our alignment stays almost feeling a little bit closed, as the arms can then fall down. And you'll see as my arms come down now, it's pretty important that my body does start to square back up. And as I get towards impact, which will be lesson 4, we will look at numbers of how we're getting the body open. So as we come down now, little press into the left side, and our checkpoint will be, and I like to see back to lesson 1, this giving blood position. Okay, so this crease of my elbow pointing up in front, the club parallel to the floor, also parallel to my target line. So that means that I'm on a good path. If this club is pointing off to the right, I'm too far from the inside, and my exit would be in to out. If when I come down, my club is out here and the grip is pointing left, I'm now out to in, and I'm going to be swinging and getting that kind of over the top cut position. So, set up, takeaway, set, load with the arm structure, press, arms will fall down, and we're in a position now, again, where right forearm is matched up with the right leg. The grip of the club is kind of level with your belt buckle. Okay, so we're in a position now where our low point can be controlled, because it's easy for me now to release the club as I pivot this side of the golf ball. Okay, if our ball position was here, you'll see if I get into a release position or a delivery position here, where my weight's on my right side, my hands are too far away from my belt buckle, I'm going to have a very shallow angle of attack, possibly catch the ground early, or get this kind of scoopy, thin, toppy, clean strike. If I do the opposite, get too far ahead of it, drag the handle, now I'm going to struggle to square the club face up, and I'm also going to get very steep, and I'm going to get this kind of low, choppy one. So it's very important that we have a checkpoint to be able to practice working down to. And what I like to see as a drill, so if we go to the top of our swing, shift the pressure just a little bit. Now I'm going to work my arms, let them fall down. Right arm level with this. So my right leg, shaft parallel to the ground. Ideally, we spoke about this flexion in this lead wrist. I'd want to see that remain. So my club face is matching my spine angle. Grip is level to my belt buckle. And then from there, I'm just going to go back up to the top. Let my arms fall back down. You'll see there's a tiny bit of shift in pressure. I'm just getting used to kind of moving my body a little bit. So I'm not just isolating arms. Here, back down. And I'm just drilling in here. This is kind of a pump drill that I get the feeling of where delivery is. So I might do this 3 or 4 times and then swing through, trying to get through that position we've just been pumping the arms down into. So some key bits now we're going to go through as a recap on what we want to see with the weight and then our checkpoint for the club. So recap on this delivery position. We're going to get into our setup. So everything we've done lesson 1, tipping over, arms hanging down, good grip, nice spine angle. We've got our takeaway. We've spoke about the club face. We spoke about the set, the turn. And now this important bit as we shift pressure and we come down into delivery, which is when the club shaft is parallel to the ground and ideally our right arm is level with our right leg and the grip is level with our belt buckle. Okay, we want the club shaft parallel to this line on the floor, which is parallel to our target line, and we want this leading edge anywhere from sort of toe up, which I don't overly promote, but it does work. We might just need to be a bit more active with the release, to spine angle here, and at this point then we're able to start working down into delivery as we just pivot around. So this is the key position that we want to get into from down the line. And then to now face on, we're going to see the takeaway, the set, the turn to the top, and delivery would be with this weight shift, hands coming down here. So, butt end of the club parallel to the ground, parallel to my target line, club face parallel to my spine. Now we're in a good position to be able to find, and you can see by that alignment stick on the floor, the low point of the swing now is going to be somewhat after the golf ball. So we'll be able to start to compress it a little bit better. You can also see how much easier it is for me to, as I just pivot, keep that club face squarer. So delivery is so, so important. And we're going to have a little look in the next lesson on this impact and our extension through the ball. So that video will be coming out soon. Hope this has helped. Linking lesson 1, lesson 2, and lesson 3 together. Not too technical, but definitely giving you enough to be able to build and have some understanding of the golf swing. So hope that helps. Please like, please subscribe. I'll go do loads more videos and dive kind of into more detail on each of these areas. I could do probably an hour video just on delivery position, but trying to keep this nice and simple for you. Hope you've enjoyed it, and